Hey YouTube, this is Andrew with Pixel Palace Games, bringing you my Cyber Dragon deck profile. And without further ado, let's get going on it. So, first off, 3 Cyber Dragons. Surprise, surprise. It's used for everything in the deck, and you don't really want to draw it in this version. I'm making a Go First Cyber Dragon profile right now. So that is why some of my choices may not line up with others. But moving on to the next card, we've got Cyber Dragon Core. Searches Cyber Spell or Trap. You can banish it from grave if you've got no monsters to special summon a Cyber Dragon from your deck. It's a great card. Next up, we've got Hertz, which is if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add another Cyber Dragon monster of your choice from your deck to your hand. It's a great card. And Core and Hertz are both targets for machine duplication, which, because their name becomes Cyber Dragon on the field, lets you special summon 2 out of the deck. And with 2 cards, you have 3 cards on the field, and if you added with a Core, you had a spell, or if you link away the Hertz, then you get another Cyber Dragon. It's a really, really powerful play, very, very resource. Anyway, moving on right along, we've got 2 Dry. Cyber Dragon in name, can make itself level 5. No big surprises there. Cyber Dragon Veer, I run 2. I go back and forth over just running 1 since it's searchable, and you can't special summon it more than once a turn. So I'm currently running 2. That's the number I like. And then next up, one of the best cards in the deck, and a surprise to no one if you're familiar with Cyber Dragons, Galaxy Soldier, a level 5 that special summons itself by pitching another light monster, and will search a Galaxy Soldier from the deck. And if you pitch a Hertz with it, you add a Galaxy Soldier and a Cyber Dragon of your choice. Which is great. Moving right along, we've got 3 Cyber Emergency. Searches any Cyber Dragon or Machine Light monster that cannot be normal summoned or set. Next up, we've got Cyber Repair Plant, other search card. This one does any light machine in the deck, which we're almost running all light machines. So, again, no surprise there. Cyber Rev System. I would like another one, maybe swap it out for the Veer. But special summons a Cyber Dragon from your hand or graveyard, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Cyber Rev System is a great card, and you should run at the very least 1. Alright, moving along, we've got Instant Fusion at 3 to help get us climbing into those links, getting into those fusions, and setting up a certain monster, which I'll cover in a minute. And up next we have Overload Fusion, which lets you banish from your grave or face up on the field to special out a Dark Fusion Machine monster, which helps with killing your opponent round 3. I run it at 1. Not the biggest fan of the card, but it's really good with Cyberload Fusion, which can shuffle those monsters back and give you another fusion monster using the same materials. So double dipping out of your grave for 2 fusion monsters is pretty great. Cyberload Fusion's also searchable off of Core, so that's why I only run the 1. You could probably run 2 if you'd like. Monster Reborn, obvious. It's a free extender if you pull something out of your opponent's grave or your own. 1 for 1, which can pull out the Hertz. And putting Cyber Dragons in the grave is a fun thing to do. Helps set up further combos. And here's where things are going to start to get a little weird. Well, just not so much on this one. Effect Veiler, it's there for obvious reasons. You don't want your opponent doing things. I run 2 Inspector Border because it's a good Plan B or Plan Border. If you get a lot of spells in your hands, no Cyber Dragons to get the combos rolling. It's a light machine, so it's searchable, and it can stop certain decks in their tracks. I only want to run 2 though, as it is searchable, and at 3 I think it gets a little too clunky, and it's not the point of the deck. The deck is not just Inspector Border Turbo. Up next we have Solemn Strike, Judgment, and Warning, and just stop your opponent from doing things. They're just your bread and butter negates. Nothing crazy, but a little different for Cyber Dragons. All right, and that pretty much covers it for the main deck, except for 2 cards, which I will be getting to in just a moment. But before I go into that, I want to show you the extra deck. And things will start to make sense. So, moving into the extra deck, we've got Cyber Dragon Seeger. Becomes Cyber Dragon on field. It's a machine. It's great. Play 4 Genius, 2 machine monsters, unaffected by spells and traps, and activated link monster effects, and can negate something on your board and your opponent's board. It's a great card, heavily underappreciated. Moving right along, we have the Reproducus and Summon Sorceress combo, which just helps you extend, and it extends into Nightmare Griffin, which is special summon monster skill drain. Really good card, and it can set up a search card for your next turn if you used one. So I really like Griffin, and once we dip into the side deck, it will make a little more sense too. We have Cyber Eternity Dragon, which can come out thanks to the Quick Play Fusion Cyber Load. So if your opponent tries to get rid of some of your stuff, you can fusion it away and still have a monster. And Cyber Eternity is a lovely 28 attack, 4,000 defense. And if you instant fusion out Panzer Dragon and use it in the combo and then set up and get into the Cyber Eternity Dragon, then it cannot be targeted, which is lovely protection. We have Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon for actually killing your opponent. We have Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon for breaking extra links or getting rid of pesky extra deck monsters. We've got the Cyber Dragon Nova for reviving and going into the Infinity, which is one of the most powerful negates and one of the best boss monsters in the game, in my opinion. And finally, we're going to cover the mystery that I have left for the end. Because our deck is capable of spamming out level 5s, I run Artifact Durendal. And Artifact Durendal is a funny little card that can negate not negate, but change, rather, a opponent's monster effect or normal spell or trap card into a destroy one spell or trap card your opponent controls. So, the idea is that you have one of these cards set, force your opponent to pop it, and because it's Waking the Dragon, you can then pull anything out of your extra deck that you feel like, which can be Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon. You can grab Barbaroid to kill some things that are pesky in the grave, Naturia Beast for the Sky Striker matchup, and I personally like to run 2 Waking the Dragon because it is unsearchable and it's a lot of fun. But now, moving into the side deck for us, we have the Nat Beast, the Barbaroid, and Barbaroid is awesome because it can also be special summoned out by Cyber Dragon Nova if your opponents destroy it. Next up, we have some Floodgates. There can be only one. Imperial Iron Wall, Anti-Spell, Imperial Order, and that does, and a Gozen Match. That does it for the Floodgates, and we'll move into Hand Traps to Ash Blossom. I don't like to run 3 ofs because the deck struggles with consistency a little bit. We also have another Effect Veiler, and we have 3 Evenly Matched, and a card that wins games by itself, because banishing all but one of your opponent's board was a fair thing to print. And lastly, we have Cyber Eltanin, which is a light machine, so it's searchable by Cyber Emergency and Repair Plant, as it cannot be normal summoned. And we have Jizu Kiru, a light machine kaiju, which you can eat with your Cyber Dragon Infinity after getting rid of one of your opponent's pesky monsters. And that will about do it for the actual deck rundown. And I kind of went over the main combos that I think are worth talking about. So I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.